guys, thank you for joining me. I was just talking to myself on camera. I am going to unbox the first vase collection. I got the final 3 production pieces, which these are the exact ones you guys will be able to buy. It will be in September that the first sale goes live. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it very much. So I'm shaky because this has been such like a long work in progress. I actually made the first vase. So I thought we would start with the most seen vase. This was one of my first pieces that I made. And I made it, the mold, the original mold, to cast it in porcelain myself, and I'm not a great mold maker. So I only have a couple of those pieces, but I love designing in it. And I ended up giving one to a client almost 2 years ago, and she told me it's her most reached for vase. Sorry, there's a lot of bubble involved. But basically, I started calling it the cinched vase because I imagined it as having a cinched waist, but if you've ever watched any amount of drag queen stuff, it's barely cinched. So this is the first model that I envisioned bringing to the public, selling to you guys. It is such a great vase to design in, and it has a few tricks, which I'll get into over the next, but I'm kind of gonna cry. I have seen samples up to this point. I'm working with a US-based small woman-owned production studio to help me make them in multiples. So they have sent me a few versions, but this is the first, this was supposed to be the final, and it definitely is. It's kind of amazing. This has gone from like me hand making them and blowing them up in the kiln to making changes and tweaks to it, to finding the right person to help me bring them to life. So this is barely cinched, and they will be on sale in September. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing this one. And I have waited so long for that sound. I don't have any of the 3D printed versions, but that's how I basically get my prototype to my manufacturer, and they have like a texture to them because it's layers. If anybody has any questions, just as I'm talking, I'm trying to see what you guys are saying, but also, you know, trying not to cry. This has been like so long in the works, and I appreciate any of you guys that have cheered me on along the way. So that's barely cinched. Hang on, a lot of bubble. I actually had to pre-empty the box because there was bio peanuts and they would get everywhere. Speaking of. So this next one you have probably also seen. One of the most amazing things to me about making vases as a florist is that I was trying to add it up. Let's say somewhere around 20,000 arrangements I've made in the years I've been doing this. And there are just some flowers that are hard to design with in traditional vases. And one of them is the hellebore. They nod, they're short. Almost everything in winter is short. And so I wanted a vase that I could use hellebores in easily without having to use water tubes or anything. So all right, so this one is called the envelope. Oh, it's so nice for it to be real, and also I've taken advantage of the heat wave to grow my nails out since they're not full of dirt from the garden right now. So I actually have nails to make that sound. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're just popping in, I am sharing the final production samples from my USA-based production studio. Basically, they're like my production partner in making my vases in more than one piece. If you asked me to do that, I was making them at a rate of like 1 a year. So that's not a great business model. So this is the envelope number 1. And I made it honestly because I like hellebores, and sometimes hellebores are this big. So let me make sure you guys can see on the table. Well, probably not, so I'll have to hold it. But basically, I have also used it throughout the prototyping and testing process. It holds pansies, it holds muscari, it holds a lot of short stuff that you sometimes struggle with finding the right vase for. Or if you are making flower arrangements and, you know, you break a flower, this is also perfect for those, like, I call them spare parts, but they're, you know, when we break a rose and it's still got that much stem on it, it's not going to work for anything other than something like this. So, oh, the cats are coming to inspect. But yeah, I'm struggling to describe why I do the rims this way, but it's to not just accommodate different heights of flowers, but to prevent, it's really common when people are making flower arrangements to cut everything to the same height. So if you were taking like a cylinder shape, you know, if you buy a couple, like a bunch from the grocery store, they're already kind of cut and they come out at the same height. So by changing not just the shape this way, but giving it different sides, it can definitely accommodate a lot of interesting designs. It's so cool to see these. Like if you're just joining, yes, they are functional art. I think that that's something I've been doing a lot of research on, the history of vases and ornamental decorations. I mean, it wouldn't be me if there's not a cat in the video. But this is Chewy. So yeah, they're meant to be functional, but I design them as somebody that's made a lot of flower arrangements. I really think that there's tons of creativity that hasn't been explored in what you can do when you really know what flowers do. All right, so if you guys are just joining, here are the first 2 vases. This is called Barely Cinched, and this is the envelope number 1. The first sale will be in September. We are relying on a couple of logistics details to make sure that when I announce the date, it's the real date. Chill. All right, so there's one more, the big one. This is the first vase that I designed and never made an original number 1 model. I made it through clay, wax clay, sculpting clay, 3D scanning, 3D printing, and it's called the Twist, and it's inspired by a couple of Dior dresses that during the pandemic, a lot of fashion houses sent designers home with old fabric, and this was from an Instagram I saved from one of the designers. All right, so this is called the Twist, and it's so much better than I could have dreamed up. I'm gonna be doing some in-depth like design process stuff on this one because there was so much inspiration, and there's also been so many versions of it over the years. But it started out as, what could you do with like a bunch of flowers that you're holding like this? And what would be the best thing to hold them and make it feel feminine? And so that a lot of my inspiration for these comes from fashion. So this is called Twist number 1. Actually, it has a little baby that's destined to join us, hopefully for the holidays. The main goal is to put out vases that make flower arranging less stressful, more of a delight, and I really want to see people use these. So, oh good, Judy's coming over. Come here. No. So if you guys want to see one last thing, I have to do this before I finally approve these for the first pieces, and that's check the fit in the box. So they're not coming to you guys in bubble wrap and packing peanuts. That's just how they get to me from the West Coast where the manufacturer is. Okay, so this is the bottom half of one of the boxes. This is the new tissue paper, which I am very excited about. I was testing it. This is the box for the twist. So we're gonna see how it works. Oh, good. I already had many hundreds of the inserts cut for these, so it needed to fit. And we did actually check it before. I can't really do like the whole effect right now, but you know, suffice to say, tissue paper, notes, come here, a cat, no. We're gonna try to keep the cats out of the packing area so we don't send you chewy hair. I'll get the lid. All right, so if you're just joining, guys, I'm unboxing from shipping and testing out my new vase collection that will be available in the fall. So here's the lid. All right, so that is a version of how they will come to you. Actually, the box has had a few little tweaks to it. This one was actually handmade. They are coming out, they'll be for sale the beginning to middle of September. The boxes have to get here, the vases have to get here. We have to do some stuff to them, box them all up, sending treats. If you ever got delivery flowers from me in the past, my studio is quite well known for our flower food, and I'm happy to report that flower food is coming back and it's going into every vase. So, because whether I've said it or not, or you're just jumping in or out, I want these to be used. Right now you can click the link in the bio to sign up for the email list. I actually just sent an update. The email list will be the first place to find out the sale. Soon, when the full website update goes live, there will be a countdown clock for everybody. Just because right now I can't put the countdown clock up because it's actually stressing me out because I have so much stuff to do. The cats abandoned me when they realized they couldn't pop the bubble wrap. So, but yeah, this is the envelope number 1, barely cinched, and twist number 1, and they will all be part of the first collection, which goes on sale in September. And now that they're here, you can look forward to many more images of me designing in the real vases. So this has really been a labor of love to get them here to share with you guys. But for tonight, I'm gonna pretend that I'm boxing this up to send to somebody. And yes, oh. Actually no one ever knows it's my initials, but it is. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.